Scotland against South Africa. This one was a cracker. 4 tries, all in the first half. Second half, very tight affair, but the Boks did enough to get it done. 26 points to 20. As I said, 4 tries, 2 tries apiece, all in the first half. Started off with some big hits this game, and a feeling I got throughout this whole game is these two teams don't like each other that much. And I don't really know why. Because they're not, like, it's not like they play in the Six Nations together or the Rugby Championship together. They don't see each other that often not to like each other. I mean, WP Nell's South African. Was that, I wonder if they were kind of getting in each other's ears about that. They were trying to stir each other up. I don't know. It was an interesting one. But, yeah, it added to the flavour of the game because without anyone really getting stupid and doing kind of overboard stuff, it just added to the passion of the game, which is always welcome as a fan. South Africa got things underway pretty early with a try, Creel in the 6th minute. My writing, looking on the screen, probably should be a bit bigger on that whiteboard, but yeah, Creel in the 6th minute. If you can't read that, and it was a heck of a try because it went through so many different players. It was, I think, Pollard who got a wee line break, and he passed it. Pollard's the number 10, passes it to Papia, who's the young number 9. A lot of pressure on him, having not had many minutes in that Springbok number 9 jersey, despite being named in the team a lot, but almost never getting brought on to play. And then he gets the ball to Snyman, who's a second rower. He passes it to Kitsoff, who's a prop, who passes it to Nkosi, who's a winger. So it was just half of the different positions of the rugby team all getting their hands on the ball, working together, running good lines, and then I think after one phase, Creel goes in for a try again from Papia. So, yeah, very, very slick, entertaining move. But then Scotland kind of went to be overshadowed in terms of scoring slick tries because Horn's try on the counter had some quick feet and some quick offloads for Scotland's first one. That made it 7-7. The TMO did check that one for a forward pass, but he was all good with that. But man, from the restart, Scotland will be disappointed there. I guess Rassie will be pretty happy. South Africa were kind of able to turn the ball over pretty quickly from the restart and then just score immediately back. So, yeah, Horn in the 19th and then Pollard in the 21st. So that kind of tells you how quickly it was turned around there. Yeah, so that took it out, plus a penalty to 17 points to 7. Starting to look a wee bit ominous for the Scots, especially because the scrum was a wee bit under the pump. But then they initiated a pretty slick little line-up move that they must have been practicing a lot. I've seen similar moves before. I seem to remember New Zealand getting a result over the Boks with a similar move a few years ago. I can't remember. Was it the one that Richie scored? I'll need to look it up after the video, but I seem to remember there was one that New Zealand did. It was a similar move, although our one was questioned for legality. I can't remember. I haven't read anything about this one being questioned as to whether it should have stood or not. I think I did read one tweet about it, but yeah, I definitely haven't looked at any official analysis. Either way, to me, at initial first look, it looked pretty darn slick, and yeah, it was kind of that Ford's coach is looking at that going, job done. Money well earned for that training pitch move because it just cut like a hot knife through butter. Watson got that try. So half time, 17 points to 20. It's still game on. Totally anybody's game. And the two teams had been fairly even. The run meters were pretty even. Scotland did have more ball, 60+%, but they weren't tackling as well, 79% to South Africa's 85%. So yeah, it was all pretty tight, and yeah, it was looking like it could be a real points bonanza in the second half, but second half kind of tightened up a bit. LaRue did get a yellow card for a deliberate knockdown of an intercept, and I mean, I guess fortunately for the game, like there weren't really a huge amount of points scored in that second half, so it didn't really matter. South Africans still won, so they're not going to be questioning that. But generally, the way I look at those deliberate knockdowns is maybe there's a guy and he's standing between two guys. Maybe he's the last man between the other team and an overlap. So they pass it, and he tries to knock it down, maybe from a standing start, knocks it down to prevent that guy from getting it more than anything else. But this one was kind of a red pass. Like, LaRue came in steaming for this ball. Like, he read it like a book. And it was just slightly too high for him to catch. So it was definitely an awkward one to catch. But I didn't think it was a deliberate knockdown. Yeah, it was just a bizarre one to me. Even because I had the Scottish feed on the commentary, they didn't think it was... they kind of don't think it warranted anything. So... yeah, he definitely read it. It was a go for an intercept. It wasn't a spoiling play as far as I saw it. So it was a bit of a weird call. I think then Scotland kicked a penalty from there, but Pollard kicked one not that long after. So the yellow card period ended up as kind of a 3-3 tie. So it didn't make much of a difference. And the Boks actually had a wee bit of an attacking period during that yellow card as well. Pollard had another kick off the post. And missed the penalty with one of the worst shanks I've seen him kick for a long time, because his boot has been really reliable the last few weeks and really the latter half of the Rugby Championship, so that was kind of surprising. Yankees did kick one last one in the 71st, which took it beyond a kick to win, so Scotland would have needed a converted try to win it, but it wasn't to be. Full-time stats. Run meters pretty even, 294 Scotland, 273 South Africa, so pretty even. Possession of territory pretty even, 48 to 52 to South Africa. Sorry. Tackling percentages similar, 87 to Scotland, 84 to South Africa. So again, pretty even. Although Scotland did have to make a lot more tackles, 100 plus. South Africa just under the 100. Penalty count pretty even. 8 to Scotland, 9 to South Africa. So everything kind of seemed to even out. One yellow card to none. Yeah, it was a pretty tight game, and South Africa did well to win this one. A lot of people, well, not a lot, some people not really giving credit to just how tough Scotland are to beat at home, and I think Rassie will take a lot from this. And I think Scotland likewise shouldn't be too downhearted from the fact that this is a team that is clearly on the up, having beaten the All Blacks not that long ago and almost beat them a second time, and Scotland competed and actually, like, for parts of the game, it was like a boxing match where certain rounds you'd be, this guy got that round, that guy got that round. It was, at times, Scotland were really on top. I mean, Hogg, some of his kicks were phenomenal, and he was really making to look South Africa pay, looking to make South Africa pay. This is what happens when you watch too much rugby and have a feeling a bit under weather the day before. What was me? So Hogg was definitely a good performer. Scrum, as I said, letting them down a wee bit. The breakdown work was sometimes costing Scotland a bit. Like, I saw Vermeulen get turnovers, other guys. So it was, an area that they perhaps needed to be a little bit quicker. But as I said, sometimes South Africa would just put in an aimless kick to Hogg, and it's like, what are you doing? You're asking for trouble with a man like that back there. Jones also had a massive line break that could have worked out more. That was from Pollard's poster. I think it was Dale Indy that got back for that tackle because Pollard missed him. He kind of got stepped. So I think it was Dale Indy. Good work to kind of get back. Scotland also at one point turned down 3, weren't able to convert into a try. So South Africa's defence held pretty well. There was one point as well where Pieter-Steph du Toit went in for a clean out, and it looked kind of like a shoulder, but I think it was just a penalty from memory. So Scotland lost their line out anyway. It didn't make a difference. But those were most of the talking points for mine. It was interesting though, because although I said for the most part I was listening with the Scottish commentary on the feed I had, I was able to switch. And I hear Matthew from South Africa often, so I left it on the Scottish one because it's not a commentary I get to hear as often. But it was funny at scrum time, I was deliberately switching between the two, and there was one moment where Nell got penalised at that scrum time, and I quickly switched between the two, and the Scottish commentary team said that Nell hadn't moved. He'd set his body position properly and he was kind of all good to go, and that there was a strange penalty for the ref to blow this up first time without letting them kind of reset. And immediately over to South African commentary, they were like, yeah, Nell's at foot. He's been switching his position around and moving his arm or something. That's why he got penalised. So scrum time can be a bit of a mystery even to the experts. But yeah, very cool game, man. I think both sides will be pretty happy with this. Obviously, Scotland not happy to take the loss, but I think still be pretty happy with the performance. Obviously, areas to improve. South Africa, perhaps getting a bit of consistency. If they can get that right, then kind of look out the rest of the world, because, yeah, if they can get the consistency thing, then they're going to be really dangerous. Since Rassie has taken over, there's been like world-beating performance one week and then aimless box kicking the next week. It's been a weird one, but we'll see what happens. You guys let me know your thoughts on this game, key performers, key moments. Did you think LaRue was a yellow card? You guys let me know your thoughts, and yeah, I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.